At some point, I'm going to have to figure out a way to make this less awkward. But anyway, we'll get there. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to get you to stand with me real quick and just let's wake up. How about this, huh? Come on. Okay, and now give someone around you a high five. Just start high fiving people. High five somebody. High five somebody. Let's wake up. Let's enjoy being hanging out and stuff, right? All right, here you go. All right. Bet Todd never done that. I'm just playing. No, today we're going to be talking about the story isn't over. That's the title of this whole thing. The story isn't over. We've been in this series for what seems like forever now, called The Story of Us, and we're at this position in the church and in our lives and with the band, the staff, everything. This whole transition period, and this is what I was going to ask. Who has been with the church from day one? Is there anybody still here? Okay, from day one. And then, I've been here 8 years, and I know there's people that have been here longer than that. Kitty, how long have you been around? Red Building. I don't know what that means. For a long time. How long? How many years you think? A long time. Okay. And then some people are new, and we have, I don't know if there's anybody new here today that's the first time. Do we have any first-time guests? I hate to point you out or whatever. Awesome. Okay, so we have somebody new today. Let's give it around. That's awesome. Okay, I've been here 8 years, and what I've seen from this church, we've had some major ups, and we've had some major downs. And some of you have been through that roller coaster with us. We've seen stuff going on from healing to pastors dying, having heart attacks, everything else. We've been through a pretty big round of emotions, from the highest to high to the lowest to low, it seemed like. And so today what I'm going to talk about, there's a story in the Bible that I don't know that I've ever read it. I think I've heard of it, but I think it's one of those that usually gets skipped over, and I don't know that I've ever really paid that much attention to it, but it spoke to me this week. And so my goal is to share with you what it did for me and what it meant. It changed some stuff for me. So this is we're going to be in 2 Kings. I don't know if anybody brought their Bible to church or anything, but we're in 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 8. And if not, I think we may have it on the screen. I'm not sure. I don't know how anything works yet. By the way, I'm new at this. I'm brand new. So when Todd started talking to me about being the pastor, it sounded cool and all, but then I realized there's some stuff to this. You actually have to do stuff and know how things work, and I don't think I was prepared for that part. So anyway. But I'm excited. Here's the thing: we have a mighty God, and we have a mighty Holy Spirit that leads, and so that's all we need. And I'm just going to do my best to follow and help lead you guys. All right, chapter 4. I'm going to read you the story. I'm not going to read the whole story. It's kind of long. I'm going to read, and then I'm going to start summarizing pretty quick. And how many have ever heard of the Shunammite woman? Seth. Okay, we've got a few. The Shunammite woman. And this church was created for people that did not know who the Shunammite woman was. So you're in luck. So I didn't know who the Shunammite woman was until Tuesday or Wednesday. So anyway, so we're going to skip down. There's a lot more history here. I'm not going to get into a lot of that right now. I'm just going to read this story because there's something directly in this story that I think we miss. And I think we miss it every single day. All right, one day Elijah went to Shunem, where a wealthy woman lived, who urged him to eat some food. So whenever he passed that way, he would turn in there and eat food. Okay, so what it is, this woman decides to cook a meal for this guy. That's it, okay? How many have ever had a guest over and you decide to cook a meal, right? That's good. All right, cool. All right, but it goes from there. All right. Let's see. And so whenever he passed that way, he would turn in there to eat food. And she said to her husband, "Behold now, I know that this is a holy man of God who is continually passing our way. Let us make a small room on the roof with walls and put there for him a bed, a table, a chair, and a lamp, so that whenever he comes to us, he can go there." All right, so it starts with the meal and then turns into a room for this guy that's passing by. But like, she recognizes something. This is the holy man of God. She calls him the holy man of God. So this woman here has caught on to something, okay? So one day, he came there and he turned into the chamber and he rested there. And he said to Gehazi, his servant. Gehazi is Elijah's servant. And I don't know, I've looked at several different pronouncings of Elijah. Is it Elisha? Tim, do you know? Yes. Or is it Elisha? Okay. So anyway, I'm just getting, it's okay. I'm going to get you guys involved at some point, okay? So anyway, so Gehazi is his servant. He said, "Call this Shunammite." When he called her, she stood before him, and he said to him, Say now to her, "See, you have taken all this trouble for us. What is to be done for you? Would you have a word spoken on your behalf to the king or to the commander of the army?" And she answered, "I dwell among my own people." So what she's saying is, I'm no different than anybody else. Like, she's asking for nothing. Like, she's just doing what she does. She cooked for this guy, she built a room, she knows the holy man of God. She's not asking for anything here. So Elijah asked Gehazi, his servant, let's see here, he said, "Then what is to be done for her?" And Gehazi answered, "Well, she has no son, and her husband is old." And he said, "Call her." And when he had called her, she stood in the doorway, and he said, "At this season, about this time next year, you shall embrace a son." And she said, "No, my lord. O man of God, do not lie to your servant." But the woman conceived, and she bore a son about that time the following spring, as Elijah had said to her. Okay, this is what I got. This is a woman, this is a barren woman. She can't have a child, right? And so she didn't ask for anything. She made a meal, and she built a room for this guy. She didn't ask for anything. But this guy, this holy man of God, recognizes that she can't have a child. And so I started there's more to the story. And so, like, when I read, if I don't get something, I let my mind, ponder on it. And so I start trying to think of different things, I don't know, I put myself in a situation. I've never been a woman, and I've never been barren. But there's people that are. And so, what I thought, this is what I got. This woman who's barren, to have a child would be like a dream come true for her. That's just my guess. To have a child would be, that's a dream come true. That would be a dream come true for a woman to have a child. Am I? Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what I took from this is that it's a dream. This is a dream come true. So the woman has a son. She gives, and then God gives. What started out with the meal, her little bit of giving turned into a dream come true. Do you recognize what's happening? Do you see the trend? Do you see what's going on? This is a big deal to me. I remember, and I think of the tithe for some reason. I remember when I had nothing to give, and when I would give my $10 or whatever, more would come from it. Me and Chance were telling stories. Chance, is it all right if I tell your story? If you want to hear a cool story, talk to Chance about it. He told me this story about how he'd given his last $50 to this couple at the gas station, and then having to explain to his wife that he just gave away their last $50. Has anybody else been there? That's a sacrifice, man. My last $50. I don't know. I might hold on to that a little tight, especially giving it to somebody at the gas station. But I wasn't there. God told him to give that last $50. And so, later on, was it the same day?
Yes, sir.
The same day, someone, an anonymous person with an envelope, don't know where it came from, don't know what, hands him an envelope with $500 in it. Yeah. Tell me that ain't real. I don't have any kind of crazy tithing experience. I don't have any crazy experience like that. But I know when I pursue God and when I do something that God tells me to do, things happen. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. I don't know. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. There's another story. Some of you remember Chris Wilson. Some of you don't. We were at this birthday party one time, and Chris wanted me to go with him to pray over this guy. This guy was in a wheelchair, and he wanted me to go pray with him to pray for this guy. That was the most uncomfortable, awkward situation I've ever been a part of. It was awkward, but Chris, he knew that God was telling him to do something, so he went and he done it. Well, that guy's walking now. That's crazy. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that God's real, and does stuff, We ignore him a lot. Anyway, okay, let's get on with the story because I'm going to run out of time. All right.
Yeah, Todd never did that either.
Yeah, Todd never did that either, huh? Yeah, see, I'm new at this. This is more like a group study, okay? So this is what this is. Anyway, when the child had grown, he went out one day with his father among the reapers. And he said to the father, "Oh, my head, my head." And the father did just like any other father, go see your mom. Right? Go talk to your mom. We're working here. No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible. I shouldn't joke like this. Anyway, so the father said to the servant, "Carry him to his mother." And when he had lifted him, he brought him to the mother, and the child sat on her lap till noon, and then the child died. Sometimes even the dreams that God births sometimes die. How many of you have ever had a dream that just one day it was just gone? It was just gone. It just died. One day the dream just died. How many times has God told you to do something or you felt like you knew God had this plan for you and so you started pursuing it and then all of a sudden one day, gone. Can't do it. Something gets in the way. Something throws us off the path. Something messes us up. And it dies. But see, the story's not over. There's more to the story. Thank God. There's more to the story. So the child died, and she went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God and shut the door behind him. So she goes up, she takes the son and lays him on the bed of Elijah, the room that she had built on, this extra room, and lays it on the bed that she had made for Elijah. Shut the door behind him, and she called to her husband and said, "Send me one of the servants and one of the donkeys, that I may go quickly to the man of God and come back again." And he said, "Why will you go to him today? It's neither the new moon or the Sabbath." And then get this. She said, "All is well. Everything's okay." Like her son just died. Do you understand that? Like, if my child just died, I'd be in a little bit of a panic. Do you understand? Like, oh, it's cool, we got it. Just need a donkey. That's what she's saying. I just need this donkey. We're going to ride up here. Yeah, he's dead. It's cool. She didn't actually tell him he was dead. Like, she just says, it's all right. What kind of faith is that? How many times has a dream died and you said, "Nuh-uh, not today"? Right? I've never done that. It's usually when. the dream's over, and I just usually let it win. But do we understand that? Like, she said, no way. She told this dream, or she said, no way, this dream is not over. Give me a donkey. I'm going to this man of God. And so she goes straight to the source. This is something else that I caught. She saddled up the donkey, and she said to her servant, urge the animal on. Do not slacken the pace unless I tell you. So she set out, and she came to the man of God on Mount Carmel. When the man of God saw her coming, he said to Gehazi, his servant, look, there's the Shunammite. Run at once and meet her and say to her, is all well with you? Is all well with your husband? Is all well with the child? And she answered, all is well. She even told Gehazi, all is well. Maybe she's crazy. I don't know. And when she came to the mountain, to the man of God, she caught hold of his feet, and Gehazi came to push her away. But the man of God said, leave her alone, for she is in bitter distress, and the Lord has hidden it from me and has not told me. When we started this series, Todd talked about like our lives like a movie. So when I read this story, I try to put myself in the story, and I try to put it into movie life so I can understand it. So the child dies. She runs out and she tells her husband, I need a donkey. And he's like, what's wrong? What's going on? Oh, it's cool. I got to go talk to this prophet. And so she goes. She goes fast. She is hustling along. She gets there. She doesn't tell anybody else her business. She goes straight to the source, straight to the man of God. How many times do we go to other people and start asking advice, and then we start listening to voices, and we start we talk to, it's okay, our parents are wise sometimes. We start talking to our parents, or we talk to our friends, and then we start talking to multiple friends, and then before we know it, we've got so many different opinions about what's going on in our life between us and God that we don't even know who to listen to or what to listen to. We don't know what to hear. And so, anyway, she goes, and he obviously notices, he knows something's wrong. Because now she's showing her emotions. Now that she's at the source, at the man of God, she's starting to show some emotion. That's what I'm seeing. Then she said, did I ask my Lord for a son? Remember, she didn't ask for anything. She didn't ask. Did I not say, do not deceive me? He said to Gehazi, tie up your garment, take my staff in your hand and go. If you meet anyone, do not greet him, and if anyone greets you, do not reply. So he's telling Gehazi, get your stuff, take your staff, and get there. It's now it's an emergency situation. It's now things are starting to take place. You ever be watching a movie and when something starts happening, it's kind of slow, but then all of a sudden, boom, 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 everything starts happening real quick. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Then the mother of the child said, as the Lord lives, and as you live yourself, I will not leave you. So she's telling him, no, Gehazi is not the one. It's you. It's you. It's the man of God, the holy man of God. Not the servant, the holy man of God that I want. I want you to take care of this. That's basically what she's saying. So he arose and followed her. Gehazi went on ahead and laid the staff on the face of the child, but there was no sound or sign of life. Therefore he returned to meet him and told him, the child has not awakened. When Elisha came into the house, he saw the child laying dead on the bed. So the child is dead on the bed, laying there. So he went in and shut the door behind the two of them, and he prayed to the Lord. Then he went up and laid on the child, putting his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, and his hands on his hands. And as he stretched himself upon the flesh of the child, as As he stretched himself upon him, the flesh of the child became warm. Then he got up again, he walked once back and forth in the house, and he went up and stretched himself upon him. The child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes. So like he just brought this dream back to life.
Amen.
See, sometimes we have this story going on in our life. And sometimes people only get a glimpse of it or a scene. They catch a scene of it. Like this is probably a scene in this woman's life that she would like to have skipped. Have you ever had a scene in your life that would have been just fine if you could have just skipped right over that part and went on? Like, I've never lost a child, but I can't imagine what would be going on in my mind and in everything losing a child. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I hope that never happens. But I've never had any kind of real situation. Like I've got some stuff that's happened. I ran out of gas in Vegas one time. In the desert, it was 119 degrees. I thought my brother was going to kill me. Like the closest gas station was 2 miles away. So we walked. We walked in the desert, and then we carried these big old gas cans back. Oh, it wasn't gas, it was diesel. So then we had to crawl under this thing and prime this thing to get it going. I don't know if any of you have ever ran out of diesel, but man, that's a nightmare. It's not like running out of gas. You don't just pour more in it and crank it up and go. Anyway, that's a scene. We have scenes in our lives. How many have Snapchat? Yeah. Facebook, Instagram. I'm not good at Instagram. I don't even know why I have it on my phone. I take like one picture every 2 or 3 months. Like I don't even know why I have it. See, we have these scenes in our life. See, I don't know the same story that Kitty knows about Driven Life. I don't know the same story. She's been here a lot longer than me. I don't know the same story as the people that were here from day one. I don't know the backstory. I don't know. All I know is a scene. I have a scene. And I've heard all these rumors and stuff about like what this place, like, you know, they've heard about this place and this and that. And I'm like, come check it out. Right? How many of you ever heard something bad about this place? It's crazy. You always hear these rumors and stuff. The snake rumor is that's the funniest place. And then somebody said it today, and I said we should name this place the Snake Pit. We really give them something to talk about. The Snake Pit. I'm just kidding. There's no telling what we're going to hear now. I'm just kidding. No, see, like there's scenes going on here. Okay, there's this woman's story. There's scenes. Like everything's good. Like it starts off, it looks like a normal life, right? She's just cooking this meal. She just cooked this meal for this guy that's coming into town. Then she talks to her husband into building a room on for him. He's holy man of God, and then he gives her a son. He blesses her with a son, and then everything's like life is great. And then all of a sudden the son dies. The dream dies. And then she says, no, not today. It's not happening. She had the faith to keep on going. She had the faith to not let this dream die. She dug deeper. She worked harder. She got and went to the source himself, by herself. She didn't ask the husband. She didn't tell the husband. She told him everything was all right. I got this. And she went herself and took care of it. And then like this whole dream comes back to life. That's a big deal to me. I don't know. I feel like I'm the only one that gets it. That's a big deal. Like, she refused to let this dream die. Here's the thing. See, we're in this transition period. And so, I don't know the background. I didn't put all the blood, sweat, and tears into this place to get it going. But I know this. I don't want my generation to be the one to let it die. You can live the dream, you can live in the dream, or you can die with the dream. There's people that die with their dream every day. And it never sees the light of day. It never does. There's people that die every day that have this dream that they want to do, they want to conquer, and nothing ever takes place, nothing ever happens, and they die with that dream. So you can either live the dream or you can die with the dream. And I don't know about you, but I want to live the dream. I want to see what God's got next. I want to see the next scene. I want to live the next scene. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be your pastor because I know that God has some things going on. God is working. God has got some major things going on. And there's going to be some changes. And I'm not here to change a bunch of stuff and like change it up, all do everything different. That's not what I'm here to do. But I know God has some things in store for us that's going to change our lives. That's the thing. And here, there's even more to the story, but I'm running out of time. If you it looks like the story's over. If you're reading right there and you're going, all of a sudden the story it leaves her scene and it goes to something else. But there's more to the story, and you go all the way over to chapter 8, and it's like Elijah comes back and warns this woman that there's a famine, and he tells her, "Go ahead and move your family because there's going to be a famine." And so she picks up and moves, and she goes, and I think it says 7 years. In 7 years, she comes back. And what has happened in the 7 years, they've confiscated her land, her house, and her crops because of the famine. And so, again, and you'll have to go back and read the story. This is the challenge. I'm not going to read it to you. You're going to have to go back and read this yourself, okay? And see what you get. See, she comes back and she does it again. Her house is now, okay, they took her house, they took her crops, they've taken everything from her. She comes back and all she has is her child, her family. And she says, "No, sir, not today. Not today." And she goes again, and she goes straight to the king. She bypasses everybody that gets in her way, and she goes straight to the king. And while they're there, Gehazi is there. Remember Gehazi, the servant? Okay, Gehazi is telling the king the story about when Elijah brought this kid back to life. And then all of a sudden, they walk in. The woman and her son walks in while Gehazi's telling the king about this child that Elijah brought back to life. And so all of a sudden, Gehazi says, "That's her. That's him. That's the one I'm telling you about right now." God's timing is perfect. Every single time, it's perfect. And so the woman comes up, and the king's like, this is true? This is who you say you are? This is him?" And she's like, "Yeah." So he gives her the house back, and he gives her the land back, and then he gives her the 7 years worth of crops. So she didn't just get her stuff back, she got her stuff back and some. You get that? She got 7 years worth of wealth. And it all started with a meal. She went through the trouble to cook a meal. That's where it started. And then it ended with 7 years worth of wealth. She's got her place, she's got her family, she's got everything, and she's got 7 years worth of wealth. I can handle 7 years worth of wealth right now in my pocket. That's just me. But it's got to start somewhere. It's got to start somewhere. We've got a lot of things coming up. And it's got to start somewhere. Do you get that? The story's not over. We may be starting a new chapter, a new story. This may be the part 2. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it is. But I know God's not done with Driven Life. He's not done with Canton. He's not done with us. He's not done with Van Zandt County. He's not done. The story's not over, okay? The story's not over. Take that with you this week. And when you have something going on and that enemy comes in and tries to steal those dreams, nuh-uh. No, not today. Not today. And take it and hold it and carry it and run with it. And don't let that enemy take it. He don't have control over it. You have control over it. That's all I got for you today. But I challenge you to go read that story. It's 2 Kings chapter 4, and then it picks back up in chapter 8. Because this story was something that I just always skipped over. I've read the story in front of it, and I've read the story behind it, and I've heard it taught. But I've never heard about the Shunammite woman. And now you have. So go read it, and go find something in it. That's my challenge for you. We're going to play a song, we're going to dismiss, but y'all can go ahead and play it. We've got some stuff coming up, and I'm excited. Next week's Christmas, okay? And I understand that you got kids and stuff, and it's hard to get up, especially if it's cold, you got kids, Santa and all that stuff. But we're going to have church here, because not everybody has a family to enjoy. We are the family to enjoy, okay? And we're gonna have Christmas. We're gonna have cookies and I don't know what all. Hot chocolate. And wear your PJs. Come relax. It's not gonna be a big deal. There's no show to be done or anything like that. Just come and hang out and enjoy and step into the peace of God. And then January 1st, we're gonna have a baptism. We've had some requests that people want to be baptized and New Year's Day, it's the first day of the year, it falls on a Sunday. What better way to start the new year off with a new life, new ways, new everything? You can go all in, and we can do this together. All right? So I'm excited. And I'm going to pray over us real quick, and we'll dismiss.